seasonal climate forecasts work about 2 out of 3 at best. Okay, so on above or below median. You're right more often than you're wrong by about 2 to 1, following them above or below median in the longer term for spring rainfall. This is nothing more than this bit here is just a monthly rainfall coloured by decile. The reds are the bad outcomes. In a grain farm, just one bad season, you should be able to handle that. Okay, if we're going to say one bad season is going to knock us over on the Eyre Peninsula, I'd say move. What the risk is when we get 2 in a row, and then 3 in a row, and then 5 in a row. The millennium drought sticks out like that. And then post the millennium drought, this recent 16, 17, 18 period has a real cost as well. It is showing a slight drying, which is worrying. One of the most satisfying things is playing around with spreadsheets and then seeing it, relating that to lived experiences. This is a record of what's happened in people's lives and so on, and how they've lived through that and so on, and some of the really tough times and so on through that. It's a real legacy we have of having long-term data. So Matt, you're telling me that your great uncle was the start of Minnipa Research Station.
He was contracted by the state government to actually identify the site, Minnipa, and he virtually developed that site. And so we've been in that area since.
This long history is fantastic, and part of the legacy of that is these rainfall records. But you actually have lived through not all of this.
No.
You're not that old.
No.
But so when did you start farming?
I started after coming back from school in 1986, and I've been a farmer ever since.
Looking at the records here, what really stands out is the millennium drought.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so what was the lived experience for you of the millennium drought?
It was, we didn't realise it at the time, but it was some of the worst years I think we've experienced. It was 3 years, 2006, 7 and 8. I think by the end of 2008, we wondered whether it was ever going to rain again. At least we know that happens, so it does rain. And it was a tough period, and it certainly unfortunately sorted out a few. It made farming very hard, but we managed to get through it. So.
And so what did you learn? What practices did you learn then that you've taken from there?
I think resilience is probably one of the biggest things. Also making sure that we didn't get too much into debt and actually just do with what you actually had at times. Don't dwell too much on the negatives of the situation, because it's pretty tough those periods. And we know it's going to happen again. But in our part of the world, which is quite uncertain at times, so we have to be quite careful about how we spend.
These pie charts are just if you have equal chance of being in the top third of years, middle third of years, lowest third of years. This is this forecast for profit, which is a great tool. If you go and just click on that and go for El Nino or La Nina, you can see pretty clearly that the pie charts change. We get more blue with La Nina and more red with El Nino. That is pretty uncontroversial now, but there was a long time where people said, this doesn't work. West of Mallee, it's basically this notion that when you squint and look at that, yes, there's some differences, but overall there's a lot of spatial coherence. When we go to Indian Ocean dipole, it's even stronger. We get a stronger, so the chance of being in the top tercile, the top third of years, is greatly increased with past positive Indian Ocean dipoles. And you can see that a bit when you look at these in great detail, that when you go through here, not always, but some of the worst years are correlated with these sort of outcomes and so on.